Once again, the grounds of the Royal Hospital Chelsea are transformed into a dream garden.
100 years on, and it's still looking pretty good.
This is the Australian Garden, and it's one of the largest in the show's history, and it's been quite a history. Since 1913, the number of exhibitors here has more than doubled. The show today attracts more than 160,000 visitors from all over the world.
It is no longer the largest flower show in the UK, let alone the world, but it is still probably the most prestigious. There have been flower shows in other parts of the world that have deliberately modelled themselves on Chelsea.
Under 3.5 acres of canvas are blooms such as asters, which any domestic gardener can achieve.
Chelsea's central marquee was once the largest in the world. Faces, fashions, not to mention facial hair, have all changed, and so has this growing business. They've had plants here since the very start.
Gardening has changed an awful lot in 100 years. It's now the hobby of the common man, really, rather than just something that the gentry could play about with in their big country houses.
But in a quiet corner of this centenary-inspired garden, it's as if time simply stopped.
An awful lot has stayed the same, I think, in terms of roses. I mean, roses were very popular back in the early part of the last century, and they're still very popular now.
Well, we've got some lovely xanthodias here. It was very difficult to get them into flower, but we put them under heat in the greenhouse.
Jack is 19 and the youngest designer here. As the climate changes, he told us, so will Chelsea.
I think it will provide more of a challenge with gardening. Obviously, drought conditions are another thing to look at, and especially waterlogged conditions. So everything's going to become more extreme.
It's a far cry from the gentility of those early days, but this great British institution remains not just very green, but very pleasant.
Lucky London to have in its midst this loveliest of all flower shows.